Good morning, gang. Happy Monday morning. Let the clown show begin. Today is the first day of the Democratic National Convention, which ought to be really fun considering what's already happened here in the last 12 hours. So in case you've been living under a rock, Chicago now has the convention started. Everybody is starting to show up, get their hotel rooms, even though the DNC has told their people not to register under their own names in the hotel rooms for fear of violence. Okay, yeah. So they're all going to sneak in. I assume the vodka companies and the wine companies are there to support Kamala Harris. You know, God knows, as it came out yesterday, the police are saying she's constantly drunk. That's what we need, a drunk communist in the White House. Okay, cool. But so last night was a good start. They had the kickoff party with some of the has-beens and never will-be's from Hollywood out there. You know, Mark Hamill, there's somebody who's had one success in his life, and it was 50 years ago, saying, you know, getting up in a speech and saying F Republicans. There's a great way to bring the country together, right? Yeah, let's do this. Remember, you know, great unifier, you know, all these things. I'm going to unify the country. That's been the Democrat platform for the last damn near 20 years. Now, they realize unification is hopeless, okay? The problem is that you need voters, and this is what the interesting part of the campaign is all about. You need to unify people to get them to vote for you, because you have to have, I guess, 81 million votes at a minimum to win an election right now, right? Probably going to have to be a lot more this year. But, yeah. So the protesters, the 100,000 of them that are expected to be in Chicago this week, started showing up yesterday. And if you've seen any of the videos, which of course I can't show you because they are all copyrighted, and YouTube won't let me play them, unless of course I was the one that took the video, so even the news media stuff is not allowed. I already tried that, because Google doesn't want it seen, right? Just saying. Chicago looks like a war zone. There's some 30,000, I mean, imagine 30,000 people, guys. This is more than you would have at a NBA game or an NHL game when the stadium is full, okay? 30,000 cops on the streets, bicycles, horseback, foot patrol, obviously in cars, etc. And I mean, they are literally making a perimeter shoulder to shoulder around a lot of these venues. You know, the United Center, the McCormick Center, everywhere that things are going to happen. So they had the kickoff party last night, and of course the protesters stormed the kickoff party, got up on stage, and of course were screaming and bloody murder about Palestine, okay? This is where it gets really interesting. Now, I think I told you guys a week or so ago, the Muslim population in the United States is somewhere around 5 million people. The Jewish population is somewhere around 10 million people. And as a collective, okay, not everybody, obviously. It's like saying all blacks are Democrats. It's not true. But as a collective, the majority of those two religious or ethnic, whatever you want to call them, groups typically vote Democrat. But Kamala Harris has a little problem here, because she needs both of them, but in her typical wishy-washy way, she can give a speech for 17 minutes and say absolutely nothing. So neither side, she has not thrown support to either side, okay? She has not said that she supports the Palestinian cause, and she has not said she supports one of our greatest allies in Israel. That's a problem for a person that wants to be a president. You need to be able to make decisions. She can't. So you think about what she's trying to do. And this goes into everything we've all talked about for years. Democrats are not worried about doing what's better for people. They're worried about what's doing better for themselves. A leader would come up and say, this is the side we are on, move forward. Somebody who's only out for themselves won't make a decision. She's trying to court the vote from both sides, the Jewish vote and the Arab vote. Does that do either side any good? No. But if she can get votes from both those sides, that does her very good. So this is the epitome of the Democrats coming out and saying, we don't care about the people as long as it enriches us, money or power. Okay, and in this case, she wants the power. You look at some of the BS crap they've pulled here in the last 12 hours. On the Trump International Hotel in Chicago, on the side of the building, they blasted up a light that says Project 2025 headquarters. I mean, again, we've got to think about this. If you have no accomplishments and nothing to run on, the only thing you can do is lie. Again, Project 2025 has nothing to do with Trump. It's been debunked a million times, and she still continues to run with the lie. But when you only can run on lies because everything that's the truth has been a disaster. She keeps saying on day one she's going to do stuff. I'm sorry, lady, but day one for you was January 21st, 2021. That was long in the past. Okay, your day one is behind you. You have no choice but to run on your existing record. You can't tell us how you're going to fix the problems you created. That doesn't work. Okay, nobody's buying that. So then you get into more of the stoking tension. On the bus tour, okay, heading to Chicago, or at least sometime last week, Kamala Harris decided to stop in Dearborn, Michigan, to speak with the mayor. Now, Dearborn has the largest Arabic population in the United States. The Wall Street Journal coined it the jihad capital of the United States. The mayor of Dearborn is openly hostile to Israel. And Kamala Harris thought it was a good idea to go talk to him to see if he can help her get the Arab vote. So we have a presidential candidate who is openly courting the support of people that support terrorism. I want you to understand that, regardless of what you think about 9/11, you can look at other things. The USS Cole. You could look at the bombings that you've seen in London, the bombings that you've seen in Moscow. You can go back to, Yasser Arafat, the PLO, Palestinian Liberation Organization leader, the blowing up of airplanes in their cause. This is who she's courting the support of, okay? I personally don't care if the protesters disrupt the DNC. I actually think it's rather humorous to see what's going on, because these people that are protesting are traditionally Democrats, and they are saying they're not going to vote for Kamala Harris. Fine, good. I don't care why you don't vote for her, just as long as you don't vote for her. I don't care if you vote for Trump. Just don't vote for her. Put in Robert Kennedy. Put in Jill Stein. Put in Cornel West. I don't care, okay? Just don't put the X next to the Harris Walls name on the ballot. I'll give you a quote that was from one of the protesters yesterday. Okay, this was interesting. A Democrat protester. Quote, "My issue with the Democrat Party is they tell us lies." No shit. Every time they lie to us. So why should we come out and vote for these Democrats? They're not doing nothing for us, and I'm sick and tired of them lying to us every single time. Welcome to the platform of the DNC. There is nothing true that they will tell you. All they do is lie. The old joke, when can you tell politicians' mouth is moving? When they're lying, when their mouth is moving. I mean, this campaign is the epitome of lying. It's going to be interesting tonight with the first speakers, and I'm going to try to stomach some of this, but I guarantee it's going to be more watching clips than watching the whole thing, because it's not like I can sit through 4 hours of this. But tonight's speakers, Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, welcoming everybody to the city that he destroyed, okay, and his predecessor. I mean, we all thought that Beetlejuice, Lori Lightfoot, was bad in Chicago. Brandon Johnson was, hold my beer. You know how we always get the reports on how many people were shot in Chicago during the weekend? We get them every weekend, right? Every Monday morning they come out. We're going to get the ones this week of every day how many people are shot, because these protests are going to get violent, okay? It's not like they're going to be able to keep the people in the parks a half a mile away from the UC or anything like that. Just not happening that way. They're going to get in, and it's going to be messy. And there's going to be all sorts of fights and shootings, and I guess there's already the talk, this came out yesterday, that there was going to be a bioterror incident there, that they had information that somebody was setting that up. This is a convention of one of the two political parties in the United States, and this is, if you think that the United States is going to get better if we elect her, this is what her supporters are doing. What do you think is going to happen if she gets elected and the opposition gets involved? Okay, we are going to be in a freaking war zone. 30,000 cops again. I want to remind you. Okay, trying to hold it down. And there was times yesterday. This was like 7 o'clock at night. Nothing had even started yet, and the protesters had already surrounded the cops. I mean, the cops basically had to give up. They couldn't do anything. They were surrounded. Okay, they were outnumbered. You knew that was going to happen. But so tonight's speakers, Brandon Johnson's going to start. Then we're going to get Dr. Jill. Like anybody gives a shit what she has to say. She always has been a nobody. Okay, nobody cares about Dr. Jill except for Dr. Jill. She thinks she's important. The rest of the world goes, "You're nothing." Okay. We get Hillary Clinton. Oh, that's going to be fun. Here's Hillary Clinton, who's going to go up and go, "I was supposed to be president, and they elected that demented old man, and now they're going to run a woman to be the first woman president, and it should have been me." I mean, the bitterness that's going to come out of her tonight ought to be humorous, okay? And then finally we get Potato Joe, who's going to come up and talk. And nobody's going to understand what he's going to say. Day one should be a disaster, which is going to be interesting. I don't know who the rest of the, they'll have some no-name senators and representatives and, what are they going to have people go, "I'm so proud my grocery prices went up 50% and I lost my house. Vote for me." I mean, that they're not going to be able to get people that are going to come up and say how much Biden has improved their lives. They'll probably get the the doctor from the abortion clinic or something like that going, yep, be proud of me. I set a new world record last year. I did 960 abortions and haven't been charged for murder yet. That's what we're going to get tonight. So, yes, it ought to be an interesting week. Pay attention, watch, see what's going on if you can stomach any of it. We will see. Nothing's going to be exciting on this until the evening. I mean, you already have all the racist caucuses that are coming out today, the Black Caucus, the Hispanic Caucus, the Gay Caucus. Those are all coming out today, so more of their segregationist policies. But again, you got to remember, this is the party that was against giving blacks the rights to vote, was against giving women the right to vote. They wanted it all for themselves. It's all about power for them. Don't let them gaslight you at all about having good ideas for the American people. That's what they want you to believe. The truth is, it's all about their power. Pinball out.